change this, but I can change my hand. I can change the distance so it's not too loud. And I'm very happy to see you all. Last week I wasn't able to come because I had to do an online remote translation interpretation for Microsoft. They have classes training AI engineers. So I really can't miss the chance because they're training AI engineers. So what's better chance than that for me to learn? Because I'm the interpreter, they will give me all the material. So I can read, I study, and I translate simultaneously for them. So I learned so much about AI, Microsoft AI, they call Azure, 他们有一个 Azure Cloud, that's Microsoft Cloud. So if we have some opportunity, I'll share some of that with you, but I can't say too much because that's kind of a commercial secret because that's what they train the engineers. And we actually finished midterm, so we are moving on to new subjects. And just to let you know, I don't know how many of you have gone on to the teaching website to look at the teaching material out there that I offer. Show hands if you have logged in, you have go into the teaching website. I know you hand in your homework, of course you have to log on to teaching website, right? 教学平台. But there I have all the class material on there. Please show hands. This is show hands. It's the same meaning as raise your hand. Please show hand if you have looked at the material that I provided on teaching website for this class. Nobody? No? 我教学网络平台上面我有上课资料 PowerPoint, videos, 影音档 PPT 通通都有 You haven't watched that? 大家都没有看过 You have, okay, some of you have. So if you have read through the description of this course, we have designed different modules. 4个 modules we call 模组. Modules is nothing different, nothing fancy. Module. And in this course, I designed four modules. Module are nothing fancy. It's just grouping some similar topic together. 就把一些相同的主题把它绑在一起，就成为一个模组 models, right? And we have talked about what module. The module we have talked about is, you remember we just have 1 week break. Can you remember what we learned before the midterm? SDG, right? As we talk about SDG, which include almost all the global issues. If you look at the 17 goals of SDG, these goals are to solve the 17 roots of global issues. So in a way, we have one module that gives you an overview of all the modules. And the second module we talked about is what? Besides SDG, what did we talk about? And yeah, we just talked about MDG, SDGs. That's a kind of overview, a pretty long overview of everything. And then we talk about what? Social enterprise, right. Social enterprise is what I said that in global issues, in any global issues, the stakeholders, remember stakeholders, 就是拥有筹码的人. When you're gambling, it is a metaphor, 这是一个比喻, saying that everybody, these issues are like everybody gambling. Everybody has a part in this, and you have stacks of stakes, 你有筹码. And when we are solving these issues or not solving these issues right, you may lose your stakes. 你可能输掉你的筹码. You will lose, or you will gain, 或者你会得到什么. So we call stakeholders, 其实是筹码持有人. 筹码不会写这些. 筹码持有人. But we don't say that. We translate as 利害关系人. Stakeholders are many. Like if this global issue is gender equality, are you one of the stakeholders? Meaning, does this issue affect you? Of course, because you are one sex, one gender. You are male, either male or female or of the other gender. We are all affected. Anybody affected are stakeholders. But then that would be too many people to discuss, too fragmented, too trivial. So we put all these people together and put them into three big groups, like public sector, 公部门, private sector, 私部门, it's just business. 私部门就是 business. 公部门就是 government. Okay? And this is 公民, civic sector. Or charity. So, why did I introduce social business? It's because usually people who was trying to solve global issues usually is the governments, right? Usually governments. And globally is global UN, global organizations of governments solving these issues, right? But sometimes businesses want to help too. But business mainly doing the business. It's not their main job to help society. So they set aside something. So it's called corporate social responsibility. Corporate 是公司 social 社会 social responsibility CSR. 他们以前用 so many big companies have set up a separate fund 一堆钱资金 to do CSR, to do charity. In other words, big companies do charity, but Then the third sector, there are people they call NGOs, 非政府组织, like do you know any 非政府组织? Famous ones. Think of something. In my class, you're encouraged, strongly encouraged to use your cell phone to Google. Can you name some NGOs? You can tell me the big ones that everybody knows, but I'm more interested in special ones that you would know. I'll go first for a special one. There is a 无国界医生. 无国界医生, have you heard of it? 无国界医生. That's an NGO. That's a group of doctors. 无国界. They don't care which government you are. So they really aren't government. They aren't business either. So 那个是无国界医师. You found anything? Try to read it.
阳光社会福利基金会.
阳光社会福利基金会. What does it do? Raise money. 募款叫 raise money. To do what? 阳光 sunlight. I don't know. To help. To help babies. To help babies. Babies that have diseases and then they make their face look strange or ugly. Yeah. So yeah. What about here? Anything that's not what do you?
Red Cross.
Oh, okay. Red Cross, of course. Red Cross. Red Cross is a big one. And do you know because red cross represent one religion, one faith, one belief. What is that? Christianity, right? So when Red Cross want to go to Muslim countries to help them, they don't call them Red Cross because Muslims will be unhappy. Maybe they don't want to receive their help. So the same organization actually have a different name. Red Cross have a different name for Muslim countries. They go there, but they take a different plate. Do you know that? Do you know what is the name of that? Red? I think you know. It looked like your mouth look like you know how to say that. Red? You don't know? But what you look like you know. The name Red Cross has a different name just for Muslim countries. Because Muslim countries, Muslims don't want to see cross. Cross means Christianity. And Christianity, when it's under some government, Roman Empire, 那在罗马帝国 in Roman Empire, Christianity could become their national belief. So Christianity, 基督教, once in the history, in Roman Empire history, is controlled by politics, 被政治掌控, and then they fight Muslims. So Muslims hate them, so they can't use Red Cross. Looks like you know. Red. Okay. You don't know how to pronounce it, but if you can spell it right. Red.
Crescent.
Yes. Red crescent. Crescent. Do you know the meaning of that crescent? Red crescent? 它就是月亮月沟 Red crescent 月沟 Because in Muslim art 在伊斯兰教的in Muslim art there are many sign of moon 月亮 Red crescent So red crescent and red cross that's the same and just because red cross sounds too religious it's difficult for them 不方便 for them to go to Muslim countries to help them so they have the name Red Crescent and different logo too they don't put this cross okay so these are the NGOs these are all the NGOs and there are many NGOs okay so and then I introduced social business right because these NGOs are very important. Why? Do you think these NGOs are important in solving global issues? If there's no, that let's say, because before there's not a lot of NGOs, especially after the war. Only some governments has some money to do things. There weren't even businesses after wars. When you look at the videos of Russia-Ukrainian war, every building is bombed. Everything is in a mess. Nobody can do business. Everybody is hiding every day, right? How do you do business? You can do maybe very small business, selling a little bit of food because everybody needs to eat, right? Selling a little bit of food, no business, government is weak, fighting, and all the civic sector, all the general people are poor. So weak, everything is weak. But when government is stronger, businesses are stronger, they begin to help people. So they begin to try to solve global issues. But do you think they are enough? Do you think they are enough? I don't think so. What's the problem of government trying to solve things? What's the disadvantages? What's their weakness? Yes? Not efficient, exactly. If you ask business to do things, you have to go through a lot of procedures and things, so inefficient. What about business? If business is helping to solve social issues, what are the problems? Do you think it is ideal?
The issue would be value.
The issue would be value. Yeah, can you say more about that? The issue will be value.
Like, they will not just focus on the social issues. You will contain some of also add some is it worth doing that?
Yeah, they'll consider is it to their benefit. Yes, that's a very good answer. See, if I'm a business, my main goal is to make money. And if I'm the manager, I am responsible to the people, the stockholders, not stakeholders, stockholders, 股东. And what do I need to be responsible for 股东? I need to tell them we earn money. That's my responsibility if I'm a business. Yeah, the business main goal is make profit. If my goal is make profit, when I also have to do charity, of course I'll think whether that will affect my main business. It's just so natural. Anything else? Shareholder's position is in here, just in the company, shareholder. Because shareholders, shareholders, 这叫股东. A share is just 股份. And in other words, just money. Money invested. If you buy stock, it's like you give certain money to a company to buy part of the right to own the company. And a lot of shareholders, then there's a company. And the company like TSMC, they have, I don't know, 好多股东. And then when TSMC earn money, they have to share. They have to give the money to everybody. So that's shareholders' position inside of each business. Okay, so when business doing charity, that's good too, but that's not their main business. And if a business is not doing their business, it's just doing charity, then the business owner will be not happy because they'll leave. Because these stockholders will earn money. If you invest in stock, do you want to earn money? Of course, otherwise you don't spend your money on stocks. So people think of a new way. Why don't this business and charity combine together? So they established something called social business. It's kind of social plus business. Social plus business. So it is running like a business, but its main goal is to do social welfare. So their priority is that. And most importantly, they also have shareholders here. In the video that I show you, they call it investors. Remember the video I show you, and I gave you the script. I showed you a video about social business before, right? And then I give you a script. 我给你一张纸，上面都是字的。They talk about social investors. They talk about social business. What's the difference between social business and traditional business, right? And then they go on to say, what is the difference between social investors and traditional investors? Because that's very important. Traditional investors want money. They expect money. But social investors, they know they invest there to do social work. They know that. So at the very beginning, those investors, 股东, different. These social business investors, that is to say social business stakeholders, shareholders, or stockholders, same thing. Stakeholders and stockholders of social business know at the beginning that I'm getting this money to this company as a charity money. So I like to see them do charity more than they do business. So they have no problem that this business focus very much on this issue. And why do I talk about these? That is because in this class, it's called Global Issues and Trends, right? My goal for you to know about global issues and trends is I like you to know about some events, like what are the things happening, and then I would also like to introduce how people organize to solve problems, and we call that mechanism. We have many engineers here. I'm sure you know what's mechanism. You know this words, right? I don't know how you translate that. 机制还是机什么 mechanism in engineering? Because engineering talks about mechanism all the time, or mechanism. Mechanism. How do you say that in, what is the Chinese? 机什么？机构、机制、机什么？ Do you talk about that? Engineers always talk about this. No? Not English, the Chinese. You talk about the Chinese a lot, but it's probably not translated as 机制. It's translated as something else. 机什么？机转. I know in medical term, 医疗上面翻译成机转。 mechanism， 医疗上翻译成机转，那这个是机。
Some tutorial videos just talk about this equal how it works.
Equal what?
How this thing works.
Yeah, just how this thing works. Yeah, how this thing works. But you just talk about 机什么机什么。I don't know. Yeah, how very good how this thing works. Let me write it here. How this thing works. Mechanism. See, mechanism, mechanic 就是你们的机械那个字。So if you have a system of mechanic， 一个系统，机械的系统，其实它会运作 ，right？ It's how things work. How things work. Okay. And in social science, in social science, we translated it as 机制. In medical terms, it's 机转. Medical, let's just say 药. 这个药物, I'm not even sure how to write 药. Is this 药? Kind of medicine. We will say the medicine of this, the mechanism, 机转. I don't think I need this. We don't have a lot. We will usually say, 这个药, the mechanism of this drug. 所以这个药吃进去的机转是什么？生理机转。The how it works in your body to reduce fever or things. And I want you to use that to think about solving global issues. When there are global issues, you can see the problems everywhere. You can just look at news and you see that. And I already told you the 17 SDG goals reflected the 17 roots of global problems. And we don't just want to know the problems. I want to share with you the mechanism of solving these problems, meaning how things work. How do people work to solve these problems? And one way to solve these problems, actually we introduce two ways, two mechanisms, two ways to solve global issues. One is by, well actually three, we talk about three, this triangle. How governments solve global issues. Government solving global issues, it involves different nations, right? Different nations have the different sovereignty institution. So it's kind of difficult. So they organize it internationally. Actually, this module is talking about the mechanism, 政府间 internationally, how do they solve global issues among different nations, different constitutions, right? But before that, let me tell you what other mechanism that we shared with you before. One mechanism is business. When business want to get involved in solving social issues, first of all, they have CSR, corporate means company. Corporate as social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is they set up another fund, 一个基金会. Many companies have a 基金会. You can check like 中信银行啊、玉山银行，玉山银行很多南山人寿。I talk about how 南山人寿 help a Mongolia student pay all her medical bills. 南山人寿, but that's setting aside. So that's like side business for corporate social for a company. That's one way of business helping in getting involved to solve social issues. But then there are the NGOs. We talk about the NGOs who just involved to solve social issues. But what's the mechanism of NGOs? And how do NGOs work to solve social issues? In terms of money, 讲到钱, where do they get money? From donation, right? Or government gives them some money. But that's so unstable. In the very fashionable term that we want to use, the buzzword we want to use that is unsustainable. Their money coming every year is unsustainable. You just don't know who, when will donate how much money to you. You never know that. So because of that, there's a new type of mechanism, 新的机制发生了, that's called social business. So we talk about social business. So it's a kind of organization that work like a business, because business knows how to make money, right? Business专业 specialize in making money. So they use that to make money, and then to use the money they make to solve social issues. So actually, social business, new mechanism over this side, not the non-government side, to help social issues. And now, today, this new module is going to talk about the public sector, how governments of the world, internationally, how governments, nation internationally, nation in the middle, right? That means among nations. Nations work together to solve problems. Do you think it's easy? Like if we have an organization that has Russia and Ukraine both in it. And we also have Israel and Hamas in it. And we talk about cooperation. Do you think it's easy? They're already fighting. How are they going to cooperate, do things, right? So it's difficult. It's difficult for international organizations. And talking about international organizations, there are more than hundreds of countries in this world. 全世界有100-200个国家。How do they get together and work on solving social issues? That mechanism is this module. It is the new module we're going to talk about. But the way I'm going to introduce that to you is just to talk about one example. I will just use one example to talk about this mechanism, which is the thing that everybody probably already know, climate change. You all know about climate change, right? More or less. Everybody more or less knows something about climate change because we suffer every day. Like today is okay, but a few days before, so hot. Remember last week? There's one day so hot, and it's only April. And then over the weekend, it rains like hell. It rains dogs and cats. It rains like hell, and a lot of people, a lot of places are having terrible floods. These are all climate change issues. So this module is called, I think we can call it CC, climate change. So this module is about climate change. But because most people know more or less about climate change, and climate change is also itself changing every day, it's more and more severe. Recently, later I want everybody to prepare one example to show us a very extreme disaster happening around the world in like these 2 weeks. Within these 2 weeks, there are terrible extreme climate disasters. I want you to share with us. But my main goal of introducing climate change is not for you just to talk about climate change consequences. Consequences meaning outcome, meaning 结果. No, my main purpose is to introduce the mechanism, 机制, how things work in the international public sector, international community. How do nations all over the world get together to solve things like climate change? And of course, that will be next week. The things will be next week. And of course, that's your homework this week. Your homework this week, I will tell you later, is what is UNFCCC and what is COP 20, or choose probably 21, COP 21. But that's not for today. FCCC is CC, climate change. This is framework convention. And this is UN. UNFCCC, what is UNFCCC? And what is COP? COP is acronym, because it's what COP 21. That would be your homework this week, which means we are going to talk about this mechanism actually next week, because I want you to pre-study But today is the introduction of your pre-study. We introduce a little bit about climate change, the new climate change problems. So climate change being the main issue here, how international, because climate change affects every country. So they usually talk about climate change as a planetary problem. We call it climate change planetary. What does planet mean? Do you know planet? What is planet? Planet, planet, 地球 or 星球 planet 地球或星球 planetary making into an adjective 形容词，好，变成形容词。So planetary issue. Climate change is a planetary issue, meaning climate change is a global issue. Planetary, meaning global issue. So climate change